Welcome to the BeTriton. This is surely the maddest bike that's ever been made, because this is a bike that asks the question, hang on, gear. What if a bike was also a boat? And also, what if that boat was also a house? So what is this thing? What's it for? Well, what it isn't is a commuter vehicle. It's not really designed for nipping around city centres, as you can perhaps tell. Although, handling this lovely wide Dutch cycle lane very naturally. This, my friends, is an all-electric adventure vehicle. This is designed for conquering the furthest reaches of our planet, or just a little romantic weekend away, perhaps. It's the brainchild of a very lovely Latvian cyclist by the name of Igors. Back in 2013, Igors embarked on an epic 30,000-mile Eurasian trip on his bike. And he had a lovely time, but he did find a few limiting factors with his road bike on that trip. Number one, can't pack much stuff. Number two, quite annoying having to unpack a tent every night and then pack it up again in the morning. And number three, not very good on water. Here is his solution. This is the production-ready BeTriton. There have been many prototypes, lots of R&D, many engineers have spent many hours working on this thing. This is not just some weird one-off contraption that a bloke has built in his shed. I mean, okay, it is exactly that currently, but this thing's ready. It's ready to go into production. They've got over 100 pre-orders for the BeTriton, and first deliveries are later this year. This is a real thing.
But for now, there's only one BeTriton in the world, this one, and it's priceless. So with hindsight, they probably shouldn't have let me take it out on the water on my own.
Looking for some sunshine and clean air? Well, where better than Southern California this September? We're bringing all of the electric vehicles under the sun and an array of clean technologies to America's finest city this fall. Yes, that's right, Fully Charged Live USA, powered by Electrify America, is coming to San Diego. So for fresh perspectives, exhilarating test rides, electrifying live talks, and all of your favourite YouTubers, get your tickets today.
Right then, welcome to my boat bike. Here it is. Take it in, drink it in. This is a real product. This is a finished, it's a prototype, but it's finished article. They're going to start building these and selling them to people who've pre-ordered them this year. Let that sink in. Over 100 people have expressed interest in one of this, have put money down, and actually, for my first little ride, I don't blame them. I already like it way more than I thought I was going to. Where to begin? Well, construction-wise, aluminium, stainless steel for the frame, fiberglass for the body. That's made from recycled PET bottles, as nature-friendly as possible. Quite lightweight as well. I think it's around 250 kilos, the whole thing, which sounds like a lot, but look at the size of it. It's 4 meters by 2 meters, give or take. So that is reasonably low weight figure. Actually, if you kind of push it around with the motors off, it's manageable. You could maybe even do a bit of cycling with the motors off if you were in a tight spot and it was flat. Up here, we've got the bike bit, and it's all as you'd expect. We've got Bafang e-bike componentry. I've got my little readout here that shows me my range and my speed and which strength of electric assistance I'm on. There are 5 different settings. I've got 7 Shimano gears down here. I've got there's a horn somewhere. Oh, it's back in the boat bit. We've got indicators. There you go, safety first. We've got our lights. We've got main beam, high beam lights for nighttime riding. It's very, ooh. It's really quite grown up and refined actually around the front here. More motorbike than bicycle, I would say. And look at this driving position. Look at this. You've never experienced such a high commanding ride position on a bike. This is fantastic. Then there's the camper. Shall we have a look at the camper? welcome to the camper section. Lots of 3D printed componentry here. You've got your cup holder, you've got your plant pot. This is a nice little touch. Look how flush this plant pot fits in. You drop that in. Fit and finish. Rolls-Royce-esque solar panels. We've got solar panels on our roof because if you're going to be out adventuring, why not trickle charge the entire way? We love to see that. What else have we got? Rear suspension in the back. That's a nice touch. That came from the R&D phase. The early prototype had no suspension and it was a bit sore on the bottom. So now it does. Also worth noting the motor, which powers the front wheel. On paper, it's 750 watts. Igers tells me it's closer to 1500. Bafang market it as 750 watts because that's the limit in the US, but it's actually more. It's quite punchy. Now, care to step inside my bicycle? Look at this. Look at this. Super lightweight, easy to manage. Like this, and then like that. That's like that. Now, don't know what that does. Igers left me in charge. Not sure why I did that with his one-of-a-kind prototype. Let's climb in. I'm now inside the bicycle. This is the boat bit. You face the other way when you're driving it as a boat. Steering wheel, 3D printed. Little simple display here. Showing me my battery readout, headlight, fan, boat horn, different to bike horn. And then I've got my speed settings, couple USB charge ports, Bluetooth radio. Oh, come see the sleeping quarters. Come on, Andy, contort yourself into my boat. Now, some loyal subscribers will remember that recently I went camping in the boot of a Tesla Model Y. And it was a emotionally challenging experience. Let's just say I didn't quite fit. I was a bit too long for the Model Y, even with the seats folded all the way down. So what about the BeTriton bike boat? Can a huge man sleep fully extended comfortably? Let's see. There you go. Worth noting you can have like a mattress and stuff. You don't just sleep on the floor like an animal. How do I could swing a cat in here. Unbelievable. By the way, this seems a good time to ask you to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below, because even if that comment says, Jack, you amphibious buffoon, it helps the channel grow. All right, how do I get out? Feel like I'm being born again. Okay. Yeah. What's just occurred to me, and what is actually quite obvious when you think about it, is you probably put your feet down that end instead of climbing inside like a big worm. The other thing I've just noticed is this does this. So they have thought of these things. It's me who's an idiot. Should we go for a ride? Right, here at the slip, about to get nautical. Converting the boat bike into boat mode is a bit of a faff, and I don't know how to do it, so the BeTriton team very kindly going to help me with that and get themselves wet while I stand here in the dry. Although, Igers did just ask me how strong of a swimmer I am. Why did he ask me that? That guy's boat. It's got no wheels at all. Rubbish. Well, just out on the water, on the bike. This is unbelievable. It's a boat. It's a boat. It's a nice little boat. So we have a slightly smaller motor now that we're out on the water, 1150 watts, but that's still good for a whopping 5 kilometers per hour top speed. Given the size of the vessel, feels like plenty. I've got 5 forward gears and 3 backwards, depending on how fast I want to go. This is number 1, here's number 5. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, we're shifting. Okay, it's enough for number 5. And that 5 kilometer per hour top speed may not sound like a lot. It's not. But this is a pleasure vehicle. It's leisurely. If you're in a rush in your BeTriton, you're doing it wrong. Plus, water range is 20 to 40 kilometers, depending on, well, whether or not there's a light current. Which means, if you're lucky, you could be getting up to 8 hours of boating on a nice clear day like this. Well, I say clear, it's just started raining. In fact, let me just, there we go. There we go. You know, you look at something like this and you think, okay, well, that man's lost his mind. And yes, it's a bit strange. It's a bit niche, if we're being honest. But what this allows you to do, the idea of being able to embark on a trip in one vehicle, which is electric powered, which uses minimal energy, which has solar panels. You can do land, you can do sea, you can sleep in it. What a hilarious little trip you could have in something like this with a mate. A small mate, ideally. Not room for 2 of me in here. Adventure vehicles are such an underserved niche in terms of electric vehicles. You know, the type of person who lives out of a van and travels the world nomadically tends to care about the planet, tends to want their stuff to be clean, green and electric, and yet there is so little out there to serve that market. People who love the planet, who travel the planet and care about it. There's not much electric stuff for them. Well, now there's one. And frankly, I'm not surprised this thing's got 100 pre-orders, because what a trip you can have in it. The idea that I can zip around the water in this thing, pull up at that jetty, pop my wheels back down and ride off into the sunset. How many vehicles can offer you that? Concluding thoughts on the BeTriton then. I mean, what can you say? It nails its brief. Electric bicycle, check. Little electric boat, check. Camper, check. It does the 3 things it sets out to do really quite well. To ride, it's smooth, it's comfortable, it handles nicely. It's quite big. You're not going to make any friends in the cycle lanes, but it is a bike. And it's got electric assistance, so you can go up big hills, and it's got quite good range, so you can ride pretty much all day. The boat, I mean, the boat was unbelievable. It was so fun to drive on the water. And again, what I want to stress is, even if you don't use the boat part too often, if it's just an e-bike / camper, it's enough just like that for me. Just doing those 2 things alone, it serves its purpose, it makes enough sense. The fact that it's also amphibious is just an insane bonus to me. Yes, it's crazy. Of course it's crazy. Look at it. It's the maddest thing I've ever seen. But I know a lot of people that live out of vans and travel the world, and they are all a bit mad. They're all a bit mad. And most of them are quite inclined towards nature, which is why they live out of vans, so they can travel around and be among it. And the problem with the vans that they're all living out of is they're dirty diesels. There isn't enough electric, sustainable stuff out there for the adventurous type, those who like to be sleeping out under the stars. Well, here is at least one product that may suit their needs. I think it's brilliant, and actually I'd quite like to take a little trip in it. So let us know if you want to see that in a subsequent video. But for the meantime, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have been, thank you for watching.